to welcome you all here for the keynote address between two extraordinary days of panels looking at the various issues raised by Israel through the high-tech lens.
What we tried to do was answer two questions, which is what I call the what and the how of Israel's economic miracle. Now, what do I mean by the what and the how? The what is the following. There are more Israeli companies listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange than there are companies from any country in the world, any foreign country in the world, outside of China, which is, as you know, a little bigger than Israel. There's more venture capital. Israel attracts more global venture capital on a per capita basis than any country in the world, including the United States. 2.5 times more than the US, 30 times more than China, 80 times more than India, 30 times more than Europe, 80 times more than China, and over 300 times more than India. And those numbers, by the way, were true when we wrote the book in 2008, 2009, and they held constant today, even with all the chaos in the region. Israel is still attracting those kinds of global venture capital numbers. So Israel attracts all this global venture capital, highest density of startups in the world. We're interested in the how. How did Israel pull this off? In the least likely of places, surrounded by adversaries, in a state of war since its founding, no real access to natural resources, no access to regional capital, to regional markets. Israel's basically shut out from the region in terms of trade relationships. I mean, there's not a lot of economic activity, there's not a lot of economic growth being generated as a result of those relationships. 23 nations in the Arab League, 21 of the 23 Israel has absolutely no relationship with, economic relationship with, except stuff that's below the radar screen. And what's interesting is there's a ton of economic activity happening in some of those countries. Like the Gulf Cooperation Council is, depending on which immigration waves you focus on in the history of the American economy, one of the great drivers of economic success throughout America's economic history is no matter what has been going on in our economy, in good times, but more importantly in bad times too, one of the great shock absorbers for the US economy is the best and the most talented and the most tenacious and the most hardworking and the most driven people around the planet have wanted to come here, because it means that global investors had managed to sort of decouple the geopolitical risk and the stigma associated with investing in Israel during a turbulent period from the actual economic opportunity there.